Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of JPNN here. It's Wednesday, May the 18th. We've got some news for you. Kind of some big announcements, some soft announcements, I will say, in today's news. We got some stuff happening. Let it begin. Where do we want to start? We're going to start with the industry news, as always. Saudi Arabia in the news. Their public investment fund now owns a 5.01% stake in Nintendo. The PIF said that it acquired the stake for, quote, investment purposes, according to the filing. The Saudi fund disclosed stakes of more than 5% in two Japan-listed gaming firms this year, Capcom being the first, the maker of Street Fighter and Resident Evil franchises, and other online game provider Nexon Co. They put up a quote from, or at least the senior analyst at Toyo Securities, which is, I think, a Japanese security firm, said Saudi Arabia has been beefing up efforts to create its own content industry, and this series of investments in Japanese game companies is likely a way for them to learn from Japan. Hideki Yasuda said, who's the senior analyst at Toyo Securities. A Nintendo spokesman said the company learned about the Saudi investment from news reports and would not comment on individual shareholders. Interesting. Perhaps the beginning of more to come, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Sony CEO Kenichiro Yoshida has said the company's planned acquisition of Bungie is partly motivated by a desire for PlayStation to become more of a multi-platform business. Speaking during a corporate strategy meeting on Wednesday, Sony boss Yoshida said the company has, quote, high expectations for Bungie. He goes on, we believe it will be a catalyst to enhance our live game service capabilities. Our acquisition of Bungie also represents a major step forward in becoming more multi-platform. All right. Okay. Gameloft has announced the opening of a new development studio in Paris. It'll be the French firm's 18th studio. They're going to be focusing on a new title already in development, described as a, quote, action and sport-oriented experience for multiplayer and crossplay. This new game should release on PC and console, with Gameloft saying that it will leverage the company's expertise in free-to-play. Man, I really love hearing about free-to-play, action, sport-oriented video games. Sign me the bigger news today, maybe the biggest news today, as we shift over to more games-focused stuff. During a Final Fantasy VII First Soldier stream, which of course is the mobile BR game, director Tetsuya Nomura shared some news related to Final Fantasy VII Remake, the sequel, stating, quote, next month, we're planning to publish information related to 7's 25th anniversary. Quote, I wonder how far I'm allowed to share about it, Nomura continued, teasing he might actually reveal a little information on the stream before drawing back to say nothing more. He goes, next month, we will publish various things, he reiterated after the fact. So that means next month, or whatever this event is going to be, some might call it an E3 in past years, or an event during E3. We're going to be getting news around Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, and most likely Final Fantasy 16 news, as well as that trailer has been promised sometime this year by Yoshi P. So Final Fantasy fans, eat up, or get ready to eat up, because it's coming. Techland is out here announcing they're going to be developing a AAA open world action RPG set in a fantasy environment with former CD Projekt Red staff, the company announced today. Quote, we're very happy with what we have accomplished with the Dying Light franchise so far. said Techland CEO Paweł Marchuka in a press release. Our ambition is to introduce a brand new IP that is vastly different from what we've been doing for the past several years. We want to create a fully next-gen experience. A new fantasy epic set in a sprawling open world fueled by the skills and experience we have gained as a team over the years, infused with new ideas, passion, and creativity. While we cannot share more details about this project now, we're all truly invested in it and looking forward to showing it to gamers when the time is right. Perhaps next month at a event that we used to call E3 and prior... No, probably not. That's way too soon. But maybe next year at the event that we used to call E3? Maybe? Who could say? Who could say? Nacon has announced GreedFall 2, The Dying World. It's planned for a release in 2024 on PC and consoles. According to the press release, the game is described as an, quote, RPG that focuses on story and player choice, but also includes new gameplay in the form of a more tactical combat and revisits the unique universe created by its predecessor. GreedFall, the predecessor of the game mentioned, has sold 2 million units and was reviewed at a 74 average from the OpenCritic and Metacritic. I didn't realize GreedFall sold 2 million units. That's kind of a lot. That game wasn't that good. I think it came out when no other games did, though, so it had that going for it. In an interview with IGN, we reported on Silent Hill rumor regarding Bloober Team. The CEO of Bloober Team, Piotr Babino, said when responding to the rumors, quote, "We can't comment on anything we are doing because we appreciate our relationship with our partners, of course. So we can't say anything. We'll make an announcement about our future projects as soon as we can. So then you will know much more." Chuckling, he added, "officially." I mean, that's confirmation as far as I'm concerned. According to the article, Bloober Team is working on 3 different titles. They've got the Konami Partner Project, the new IP with Private Division, and they are in pre-production with a brand new game. Perhaps we'll see more information on this Silent Hill rumor at an event that may or may not have been called the Electronic Entertainment Expo in the past. Who could say? Who could say? Circling back to Final Fantasy real quick, Final Fantasy 15 has reached 10 million copies sold. News was announced via the game's Japanese official Twitter account, which said, via Google Translation, Final Fantasy 15 has achieved a cumulative worldwide sales of 10 million units. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your continued support. Kind of an interesting thing for them to celebrate that. But hey, 10 million units, game's not bad. You got to read a book, though, to really see the ending of that. We'll see. Capcom doing what Capcom does, and that's talk about how many games it's sold. Monster Hunter Rise has crossed 9 million units. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, 9.2 million units. And Monster Hunter World has sold 18 million units. That's fucking crazy. That Monster Hunter World sold 18 million units. God damn. That's huge. That's huge. Resident Evil Village has sold 6.1 million units. Resident Evil 2 has sold 9.6. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, 10.8. Capcom just printing money. Devil May Cry at 5 million and Street Fighter 5 at 6.2 after a pretty disastrous launch for that title. Sorry, I'm making sure the dog is not getting into shit he's not supposed to. Take-Two had a financial report, and in it, they stated that Red Dead Redemption 2 has now sold over 44 million units to date as of March, which means it sold an extra million since this past December. The series overall is at 67 million. And Take-Two Interactive shared their pipeline of core titles for this year, which includes The Quarry, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Kerbal Space Program 2, NBA 2K23, WWE 2K23, PGA Tour 2K23, and new Tales from the Borderlands. All of this is planned to launch before April 2023. Speaking of Marvel, They're going to announce a new video game tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST, which happens to be right when we go live. So if you want to watch that trailer along with us, we'd love to have you for trailer time, because that game most likely is going to be a card game with the previous game director of Hearthstone, Ben Brode, as he was in their promotional material. And the little teaser video that they included, there was a billion names from the Marvel world. IP galore at the end of it. So probably a card game, probably a mobile game, probably have some sort of PC component to it. We'll see what happens with it. Ben Brode's very good at what he does. Hearthstone, when it first came out, pretty revolutionary and kind of changed games, I think, in general. Maybe I'm praising him too much, but I think that game is pretty big, regardless of where it's at in its current state. A lot of card games out there because of Hearthstone. We'll see what they got in store from their little small indie team working on whatever this new Marvel game is tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST, 1 p.m. Eastern. Yes, as Darkaros is pointing out in my chat, just for everyone watching, I did say fuck Hearthstone when Hearthstone came out. But that's because Twitch was giving them exclusive things via Twitch Prime. And you know what I was playing at the time? Overwatch, like the rest of the internet. Where was our Twitch Prime pack? I stand by what I said on that Twitch stage those years ago, okay? I stand by it. I could have had a purple Reinhardt skin. Maybe a purple Junkrat skin. Would have been great. Anyways, Guerrilla Collective, I don't know what that first word I said was, has been scheduled for June 11th at 8 a.m. Pacific. Fuck, that's early. That's 10 a.m. my time, 11 p.m. Eastern. We'll be getting up earlier. They tweeted in all caps, save the date. We're super excited to announce this year's Guerrilla Collective Showcase will take place on June 11th, starting at 8 a.m. Pacific. Get ready for some exclusives and game reveals. Wholesome Games, Wholesome Direct will be immediately after. We'll definitely be checking that stuff out. Speaking of Overwatch, there's an Overwatch 2 event that has been set for June 16th. The event will feature plans for the months ahead, including the next PvP beta. You can find more information over on that, twitter.com/playoverwatch. But let's be honest, you're not going to go find more information on that because we're talking about Overwatch 2. I'll bring you the news, though, when they talk about it in June, okay? Games coming to Game Pass for May before we jump into a little bit different news. May 17th, we've got Her Story, Jurassic World Evolution 2, Skate, Little Witch, and Umurangi Generation SE. May 19th, Farming Sim 22 and Vampire Survivors. Ooh, those are good. May 19th is a winner. May 24th, Floppy Nights and Hard Space Shipbreak. May 26th, Sniper Elite 5. Might check that out. Maybe play some co-op. May 27th, we got the Pac-Man Museum Plus, and perhaps the biggest game to ever come to Game Pass. That's right, I'm talking about Cricket 22. Download it May 27th if you got Game Pass. We're going to shift gears to a little bit more serious, over the weekend, there was, of course, this event in the supermarket in Buffalo, New York. What's that have to do with games? Well, it was streamed live on Twitch. Kind of. It was a weird thing. They put out a statement. Twitch released a statement detailing its actions after the gunman behind a mass shooting in the U.S. used the streaming platform to broadcast his crime. Of course, I'm referencing the event that happened on Saturday, May the 14th, where a man killed 10 people in a supermarket in Buffalo, New York. The BBC reports that this was a racially motivated crime, with Buffalo's chief of police telling the U.S. media that the gunman planned to, quote, shoot more black people after this attack. The gunman used his Twitch account to live stream the incident. However, the site claims it was able to identify and remove the stream within less than 2 minutes and has permanently banned the user. In a statement, Twitch reiterated it has a zero-tolerance policy on violence. The quote says, "We are heartbroken over this tragedy. This was a violent act of white supremacy, and we condemn it in the strongest possible terms. Our hearts go out to all those affected by this hate crime, the the victims, their loved ones, the greater Buffalo community, and the black community everywhere who are victimized by acts of white supremacy and racism. Bungie, who you might know as the creators of Destiny, this is not a quick segue to something else. They were recently purchased by Sony. They issued a statement regarding the terrorist attack in Buffalo, New York. And it says, far too often, these racist attacks begin within online communities that are used to recruit and radicalize individuals. The group behind Employee Initiative Black at Bungie has said, it is time we begin to examine our practices and see what part we can play in preventing these tragedies. We hope our colleagues in game development and gaming communities continue to examine their own platforms and invest in their practices to combat bigotry in all of its manifestations. We believe games in their communities should be a force for good, and we are committed to that. GameIndustry.biz has more. The title of the GameIndustry.biz, which I think is rather interesting, is Bungie shares statement on terrorist attack and says it won't be muzzled by Sony. Pretty interesting. Bungie's been pretty proactive in the past couple of months with all that stuff, with just like being an advocate for, whatever it wants to be an advocate for, their Twitter account. And they definitely don't shy away from shutting down people on Twitter as well. That's up to you to, have your own opinion on that. But I think it's pretty good. That's my take on it. Let me know in the comments what's yours are. That's always smart, right? Moving back to more video game focused stuff. At least, apart from that tragic thing in Buffalo. During a corporate strategy meeting, CEO Kenichiro Yoshida spoke about the Metaverse concept, and he believes his company, Sony, which he's the CEO of, is well placed to play a leading role in the emerging trend. A part of his keynote, he referenced Fortnite several times, explaining how subsidiaries like PlayStation, Sony Pictures, and Sony Music have all contributed to the Battle Royale to create interactive experiences. Yoshida's vision of the Metaverse is a, quote, social space and live network space where games, music, movies, and anime intersect. Oh my God, he said anime. I was with him until he said it. All products that Sony has an active role in, of course. He was clear that his concept, that was butchered. He was clear that his concept of the Metaverse is one where people come together to share, quote, time and space. A virtual concert, for example. I kind of like that vision too. Mr. Yoshida, I kind of, it's not bad. It's not bad. As long as you don't sell me some NFTs, sign me the fuck up. Let's do it. Jumping into the rumor mill here at the end of the show. According to Jeff Grubb, he was on the Kinda Funny Gamecast, The Last of Us remake will come out this year. He said directly, quote, you've got to keep in mind that The Last of Us Part 2 came out a while ago. There's people at the studio who are looking around for something to do. It's pretty efficient and a well-oiled machine over there at Naughty Dog, and they don't have to do too much because that's the whole point. It's a game they can update really quickly. Wouldn't that be the third? Because we had the remaster, and now it's okay. I don't know if we need a remake of that. We also had a second. I don't know. I think the remastered still looks fine. The other rumor is that Call of Duty Warzone 2 has had some details allegedly leak online, including plans to bring the Battle Royale closer to its predecessor, Black Ops 4 Blackout. A YouTuber by the name of Nero Cinema shared the details via a video published on Tuesday. According to the video, the biggest revamp in Warzone 2 will be related to how it handles loadouts, the packages players can purchase that equip them with all their powerful gears and guns. This is not with real money, I don't believe. So be careful with how we use the term purchase there. It's claimed that Warzone 2 will make it more challenging to acquire a loadout by placing them inside new POIs, point of interest, called strongholds. There's going to be a number of them, the video claims. You infiltrate a building and do different things depending on the stronghold. Sometimes you have to defuse a bomb, kill AI, then you'll have access to your loadout. Tom Henderson, a recognized insider, tweeted, quote, "I'm not going to beat around the bush, but a lot of this is true. I'm assuming there are some discrepancies because the source can't remember exact details, but yeah, leak overload inbound, it seems." Perhaps we'll find more information about Warzone 2 and its plans for its BR in about a month at an event that used to be called E3. See you Friday, bitches.